Hello, incoming 6th grade students to Radnor Middle School, parents and guardians. My name is Dr. Doug Kent, and I will be the building administrator working with your children over the next 3 years. I'm teamed with school counselor, Mrs. Nicole Ottaviano, and she as well will be working with your students over the next 3 years, and you will be hearing from her in a little bit. Radnor Middle School is a wonderful, wonderful place. We see so much growth from our students from 6th grade to 8th grade. But please be assured, our first priority is always the safety of our students and staff. If you ever have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out to myself or Mrs. Ottaviano or your children's teachers to share those concerns. Radnor Middle School is a schools to watch, and what that means is that we are focused on continuous improvement. When we started this process a few years ago, we had to create a school vision. Our school vision is from school to the world, preparing the hearts, minds, and spirits of all students for future success. And that future success is really determined by what the passion of your children may be. In middle school, we want to make sure that we afford them the opportunity to experience as many different academic courses as possible. We follow a teaming process here at Radnor Middle School. And in the 6th grade, we have 4 teams. We have an integrated team, which is Crossroads. And then we have a red team, a blue team, and a yellow team. The more traditional teams, the red, blue, and yellow, will have either 2 or 4 teachers. And the students will receive their core subjects from those teachers. Your children also have the opportunity to experience encore classes, or specials, as they may more commonly be known. Our encore classes include such classes as World Language Exploratory, Physical Education, Health Class, Family Consumer Science, Technical Education, and more. We also have plenty of clubs that your students can join during their time here at Radnor Middle School. Again, we can't wait to greet all of your children in September. We hope you have a wonderful summer. And please, when you have questions, please reach out to us. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Mrs. Nicole Ottaviano. Thank you so much.
Good evening, 5th grade families. My name is Nicole Ottaviano, and I'll be your child's school counselor for the next 3 years. Dr. Kent and I make up the counselor administrative team that will rotate through with your child for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Tonight, I want to talk to you a little about some of the ins and outs of middle school that you may find useful. I'll be going through a host of subjects. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was ways in which you can keep your child organized and the different systems we have here that sometimes bring up kind of confusion for parents. One of the ways we track grades, and you can look at grades, is through HAC, H-A-C. That stands for Home Access Center. You will get your login and password in the summer, sent to you probably in the mail with a lot of the scheduling and the other information. HAC is a great way to stay on top of your child's assignments. It's essentially the teacher's online grade book. So it will be updated approximately every 2 weeks. This is also where you'll see their report card. So you will be able to see and track your child's grades. The other online management system that we have is Schoology. Now you may have become familiar with Schoology due to the closure. Perhaps some of the 5th grade teachers were using it as their online teaching platform. We are now obviously expanding how we're using Schoology. So right now we can post homework assignments. That's where you'll find upcoming assignments. There's a calendar view where you can see all of the assignments for your child laid out in a calendar. It's a wonderful tool. We can also hold live classes. We can hold office hours, instruction. Teachers can push tests and assignments out via Schoology. So it's different than HAC, but it is a really useful tool. I tell parents and students to always check Schoology when they sit down to do their homework. That's one of the first things they should pull up. What do I have? Let me look in each class and see. So in addition to the core subjects, your child will have the elective classes, the fun classes that we have in middle school. So this would include PE and health, tech ed, music, art, FACS, which stands for Family and Consumer Science, and they'll also participate in a World Language Exploratory class. The World Language Exploratory class actually has a rotation within it, and it's your child's opportunity to get a sampling of the 4 language offerings we have here at Radnor. So Latin, German, French, and Spanish will all be kind of introduced in that class. In addition to that, the students will also do a library research piece, and they'll also have a cultural awareness section within that rotation. Another part of your child's day is advisory. Now, advisory for some is a 30-minute beginning part of the day. That's what it is for all. But for some students, that's when they're going to participate in band, orchestra, and chorus. This could also be the time where they may receive additional support instruction in math and language arts, perhaps writing, perhaps organization in one of our academic success centers. So that first 30 minutes, kids are going all different which ways of the school. Some are running off to band, some are going to writing essentials. It is truly a unique time of day for every student, so it's not going to look the same for every kid. We also have a list at the end of this presentation. It's really a long list of clubs and activities that your child can get involved in. 6th graders are not eligible to play interscholastic sports yet. That comes in 7th grade, but that doesn't mean they still can't get involved in many of the things that we offer here that they might find fun. They will get an assignment book. They can also try to keep track on a Remind app, but we do encourage students to write their assignments down somewhere or put them somewhere that they're going to be able to keep track. They're going to have a lot of classes to juggle, and they are going to need to have some sort of management system that works for them. They will get a gym shirt, which is $5 that they can purchase in the main office. They will be issued a school lock that they will put on their locker. So we also have some resources from the PTO, which I've included at the end of this presentation. If you need more help or you have any questions for them, that is in there. At the end of this presentation, I've also included some books that I find helpful when I have kids going through transition. Middle school is nothing but transition. They come in as young little elementary school kids, and they leave as almost young adults. So it's an incredibly fast-paced change, very much mirrors how toddlerhood went, where you need to build in a lot of structure, but give them space to learn. It's really a challenging time, and I'm so looking forward to working with you and your child to go through these next 3 years.
Welcome to Radnor Middle School, our new 6th graders and 6th grade families. My name is Brad Lord. I am a social studies teacher on the Blue Team in 6th grade, and I want to tell you a little bit about our curriculum in 6th grade social studies. The curriculum is the world. We study the physical and cultural geography of the world. We use a textbook that is a National Geographic textbook resource. It's an awesome source of information, and it helps guides our study of the world as we try to figure out why people live the way they live because of where they live. And I look forward to seeing you next year and welcome you to Radnor Middle School, and have a great day.
Hello, fifth grade families. My name is Caitlin Liston. I'm one of the sixth grade science teachers at Radnor Middle School. And I'm going to take the next minute to talk to you guys a little bit about what sixth grade science looks like at the middle school. In sixth grade, we are all about inspiring curiosity in kids, building some budding scientists, talking about different careers in science. We talk about the scientific method and how we do science, how we practice science. We'll move on. We talk about geology, things like rocks and plate tectonics. We talk about Earth's spheres and what it means to be a whole world with our water and our atmosphere. We talk about weather and climate. We talk about climate change and various human impacts. And then we do a little bit of astronomy, which is always a lot of fun. We use lots of different resources. We don't have a singular textbook. We try to pull from all of the amazing resources that are out there in the world and couple those with hands-on experiences and labs inside the classroom when we are inside the classroom. Now, I do know that next year might look a little bit different, so stay tuned for what that's going to look like, but you can be sure that science is going to be able to keep moving on forward, and we're going to have many amazing experiences, whether virtually or in the classroom. I look forward to meeting all of you next year.
Hello, I'm Terry Canny. I'm a sixth grade teacher at Radnor Middle School. I'm here to talk about English language arts. Before we get started on that, I just wanted to send a thank you and a great appreciation to the elementary schools and the teachers, students, parents, everyone. Our students come to us with such great foundation that it really makes our job so much easier in building on that foundation. That said, let's go ahead and see what we have in store. So English language arts in sixth grade revolves around three overarching themes: share a story, share an idea, share an opinion. In share a story, we're focusing on the narrative. Tell us a story, not necessarily fictional, but sharing a story doesn't necessarily mean it embeds quotes either. So we might do something like a vignette, a personal narrative essay, an all about me story. We move then to share an idea. The bulk of students' academic writing from here on out is going to be in this genre, right? Informational writing. Students will explore the idea of how to use embedded quotes correctly, how to weave them in an organized fashion that doesn't confuse the reader. We might be working with thematic analysis or character analysis at this particular point. Finally, we end up the year with share an opinion, introduction into rhetorical writing. We don't really expect rhetorical writing to be solid skill until 8th grade, but we do a quick introduction in 6th grade, and we look at some more accessible things such as speeches or maybe even poems or plays. And we look at how the author uses tone, how the author uses word choice in order to get their opinion heard, considered. We even use television ads. What does music add? How do we set a mood, right? So we look at those types of literary techniques, mood, tone, word choice, and the role they play in rhetorical writing. So before I let you go, I did want to talk very quickly about summer reading. Summer reading for sixth grade students, incoming sixth grade students, we expect them to read 2 books, 3 if they're assigned to an accelerated class. And for each of those books, they complete the appropriate report form. That could be a literary nonfiction form, a biography form, or just then a general fiction form, which of course is the one that most students choose to use. Those completed reports and forms need to be to their ELA teacher by Monday, September 14th. We understand that across the summer there could be some procrastination that takes place, or links that are missed, or assignments that are missed. So we don't want a stressful start to the school year for anyone. That gives students a full week to get their summer book reports into their English language arts teachers. So we're really looking forward to seeing all the kids in September. It's going to be a great year. Radnor Middle School is a fabulous place to be.
Hi, I'm Jim Scansella, 6th grade math teacher at Radnor Middle School. I'm going to give you a brief overview of the math program for 6th graders. Our learning support, grade level, and honors courses all use the same Math in Focus Course 1 textbook. They just use it at a different pace and various levels of depth. There's another course, 6th grade seminar, course 2-3, that uses a different set of textbooks within the Math in Focus family. The seminar course is designed for students who need a full grade level math acceleration and or who are preparing for algebra in their 7th grade year. RMS also offers levels of math support. Our Math Reteach Pre-Teach course is an advisory support course for grade level math students and is designed to meet 2 days per 8-day cycle to review previously learned classroom material and to preview what's upcoming in their classes. There's a Math Essentials course, which is another advisory support course, also meeting 2 days per 8-day cycle. Its primary focus is basic review of basic overall math concepts and skills.
Literally every day I was like, so what's it like in middle school? What's it like in middle school? How am I supposed to get from class to class? I thought I was always going to forget the combination. I kept thinking, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get lost. When I first came in this building, I was surprised at how big it was. I thought it was really big. The auditorium is like really big. It's a lot bigger than what we have at elementary school. The library is very open. It has a lot of windows, which is nice, and there's like so many books. The librarians are really nice. You can play basketball before you start every gym class. There's locker rooms where girls and boys change. You do have to wear a gym shirt, and that is different from elementary school. The cafeteria is great.
You can sit with anybody you want.
You'll definitely get an opportunity to sit with friends. You have a lot of options for what you want to eat.
On Tuesdays, there's sushi. You have Chick-fil-A a couple days. There's a pasta bar, there's a sandwich, there's a salad bar.
The food choices are wide and varied. There's a snack bar, and the snack bar has a little bit more of a selection. I kind of like the recess schedule better now.
Basically, halfway through lunch, you can either go to the library or you can go out to recess.
Aides are walking around and they check your table. And if your table is clean, you get to go outside. And you kind of have like a 5 to 10 minute, 15-minute period that you get to be outside with your friends.
I think the best part of middle school is probably how open everyone is.
One of the things that we do to help to connect them when they first arrive, either myself or one of the other guidance counselors will go to the 5th grade teaching teams. We'll get some background information on the kids. We'll know a little bit about them prior to their arrival to our building. We do a program called WEB, which we started about 6 years ago. WEB stands for Where Everyone Belongs. And we've recruited, and have done so for the last number of years, 8th graders who are going to become mentors for our students. They work in pairs or threes with a small group of 6th grade students. And the very first day of school, that's who they meet. The first couple hours of the day, it's not their teachers, it's not me, it's not anyone else, it's 8th graders who care about them.
I thought that the 8th graders would be like shoving kids into their lockers, but that was not at all what happens here. I was once not feeling great, and I just needed to go to the nurse, but I had no clue where the nurse was, and an 8th grader just came up to me and said, "Do you need help?" And that's like a good experience to have.
The biggest concern is that how am I going to remember everything?
First concern is always lockers, and you'll figure it out.
Like, I've heard about it from my brother and how he had to open a locker and stuff, but I was like a little bit stressed about like forgetting my combination. You're gonna remember it. I was freaking out and I thought I was always gonna forget it. What I suggest you do is on your way home, try and practice it as much as you can. It's actually cool having your own personal space. I like it much better than the cubbies.
I would say that the number one worry tends to be that they're going to get lost because the school, every floor kind of looks the same and it's a lot bigger than what most students are used to.
I think the biggest fear I had was probably getting lost, and I thought I was never going to get to class, I was going to always be late, I was going to get a bad grade.
They need to know that we know there's a learning curve and that in the beginning there's going to be people to help you get where you need to be and you'll figure it out.
When I first got my schedule, I was really confused. When I first printed it out, I had no clue what it meant. How am I supposed to like read this?
I would say to memorize your schedule, kind of just keep it with you, and you can also ask administration, and if you're walking down on the first floor, you can ask teachers for help.
When I actually came to school on the first day, I realized like this isn't that bad. I thought it was going to be like I'd be racing to class and getting there late, but it's actually not that bad. I know a lot of 5th graders are always like, dude, in 6th grade there's going to be so much more homework. It might be a little more work, but I never thought there was so much work that I had to like stay up late or something.
I think what becomes different is, especially for 6th graders, is you now have 4 core classes. Frequently in elementary school you might have science some days, and social studies some days, but rarely science and social studies on the same day with language arts and math, and homework coming from all 4 of those subjects.
Being organized is a very important thing to me in middle school.
We had to write down one goal we had for 6th grade, and one of the most popular ones was getting organized. I had to find a routine where I did my homework.
They can expect you have to plan ahead a little more and keep on top of things.
For most kids, their time management gets a lot better from the beginning to the end of the year, that they start to learn how to prioritize better and how to manage their time.
Organization is essential, and there's a nice connection between student success and just being organized. They transition through 8 classes throughout the day, and so they have to find their own system to stay organized and on top of assignments.
We have to give you the space to maybe not be successful with it, and then learn how to become successful.
Learning to plan out your time, learning how to budget your time, using your time at home, using your time at school, balancing when you can come and see teachers between when you can go to a music lesson or when you have to go to an advisory class. That's the biggest change we see in our students, is that they just sort of figure their way through it and learn to become more organized and responsible for their own learning.
For the most part, they probably would have maybe 10 to 15 minutes of homework per class per night, but I think it really depends. Some classes might be more on some nights and less on other nights.
It's not something to stress over.
The kids are going to be responsible for more things. Not in an overwhelming way, but certainly in a way that they're not used to.
One of the main things that we hope is for students to become more independent learners, and also to challenge yourself to experience new things.
Instead of waiting for the teacher to say, okay, this is going to be due here, I want you to do this much tonight and this much tomorrow, it's really coming up with your own system as to what works.
Transition in the middle school is an exciting time, it's also a challenging time. So it really is a time of discovery, going from childhood to adolescence. And it's a time where the influences shift from parents to peers.
We know that kids see their peers as much more important in middle school. And I think the most difficult part for parents is being able to allow their kids to make that change.
Our MS Hope team, which is a service that we try to find students who are experiencing any kind of barrier. We expect all middle schoolers to have a little bit of a transition, but if that transition seems to be going a little bit longer, parents are concerned. We can definitely wrap around them through our MS Hope program.
I talk to students who are having some transition or anxiety issues related to middle school, and sometimes we'll meet with them in the summer prior to them arriving. Other times we'll meet with them in the first couple weeks if we get a heads up from maybe an elementary teacher who's had them, or a parent who's concerned about that transition.
Oh, I'm not gonna have any friends, I'm not gonna do anything. Am I gonna have to make new friends? Or are my other friends just gonna leave me and go to their other friends?
In the academic setting, I think that really works its way out because everything is kind of structured. Where I really see that coming is at lunchtime. There's 6 seats at the table and you're the 7th person, right? Which goes back to my first piece of advice, which would be being open. Maybe ask somebody at that table, hey, can you sit over here with me because I'm by myself? Go introduce yourself to people from elementary schools that you didn't go with. Look for somebody who you know from soccer or something like that.
Yeah, I still have some friends from elementary school, but you also meet so many new people. So you have all these other kids coming from Wayne, from Radnor.
In elementary school, you had one class that whole time. But in middle school, every different class, there's a new set of people on your team, so you kind of get to have a variety of people who are your friends.
The challenging piece to that is that when you're making new friends, sometimes space for old friends gets smaller.
So one thing I was nervous about was losing the friends I had before, because I know that I had really, really close friends at elementary school, and then kind of having everybody come into from all the different schools and meeting new people I thought was going to be really difficult.
How do I expand my friendships without leaving others out? And I think that's an exciting piece for some of our kids. It's a little hard for those kids who struggle a little bit with some of their social pieces, but it's also an opportunity for many kids to say, I can expand my relationships and really grow with others around me.
You meet people as you go and you make friends here and there, so if you're just friendly, then you're definitely going to make some new friends.
I think some of the social, emotional, and academic changes are profound. When I first see them in 6th grade in September, they remind me of elementary, And some of them take this amazing growth spurt, and it looks like they grow 3 inches from September to June.
With the onset of middle school, those 3 years, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, kids change more in that period of time than any other time in their life, with the exception of birth through 3 years of age.
I think the greatest piece of advice I could offer to 6th graders is to be willing to expand their social group and not worry about anything that they've heard prior to coming into middle school. So whatever an older brother might have said or the person down the street, they need to be open to making their own opinion about what middle school is and what middle school will be for them.
So I think I've changed and evolved since the beginning of the year because I've kind of learned how to be more of an independent and responsible person.
I think I've changed as a middle schooler of being more open to things. You don't have to be worried about all this stuff because your teachers and everyone will try to help you.
By the end of their first year of middle school, they're no longer visitors. They are right at home.
You're gonna love it here.
If you have a positive attitude, everything will be okay.